Hey guys, it's Nero the Wolf and welcome to my top 5 list. Today we are going to look at the best tier 4 tech tree vehicles. That means no premium tanks, no reward tanks and no collector tanks. These statistics are taken from two sites, whatlife.com and whatcharts.eu. So to explain, I took both win rate and WN8 stats from these sites and I calculated the average numbers. So I hope you enjoy this, maybe learn something new, and without any further ado, let's begin. So, on the first place, we've got a Matilda with 51.99% average victory rate and average 763 WN8. The Matilda is a tier 4 British heavy. Wait, what? Heavy? Medium. Apparently it's a medium tank. Good job, Wargaming. Okay, so the pros of this tank are firepower and armor, boasting 1600 base DPM, with very good penetration for its tier of 121mm, and great shell velocity of 1341 meters per second. It also has a very low cost of standard rounds at 40 credits per shell, making it a very good credit maker if you don't have any premium tanks yet. So by doing some basic maths, with 55 alpha damage you can theoretically fire 100 shells and do 5500 damage for the cost of only 4000 credits, which is for most lower tier tanks enough to buy just 2 premium shells. Talking about premium shells, you don't really need any of them in this tank since they only add 24mm of penetration and are not even faster than the standard AP shells, which is very unusual for APCR shells. But if you have enough credits, hell, go full premium if you want. They also cost a ton of credits when compared to the alpha damage, which is 1600 credits, just for 55 damage. Now the gun handling overall is very nice, with low dispersion rates and fairly quick aim time. Now the armor is quite good for this tier, having at least 70mm of armor everywhere, except for the back part of the hull, where the armor can get down to 20mm, which is always penetratable by all guns, with a caliber of 60.1mm and higher. Now the cons of this tank are mobility and view range. It is a crippling combination, with 24 km per hour and 7 horsepower per ton, together with 340 base view range, so it's obviously best played in an enclosed environment where view range doesn't really matter. Now for most players I recommend equipping improved ventilation, improved hardening and coated optics. Or you can swap improved hardening for binocular telescope if you want to effectively spot for yourself. Also, one thing worth mentioning about this tank is that it has a very funny little howitzer with the slowest shell velocity in the whole game. Yes, even slower than artillery shells on British SPGs.
Oh my!
An enemy can basically go to the bathroom and back and still dodge your shell. It's just hilarious. Even more so if you can actually carry a game with this gun. It really does deserve its place, and I would recommend this tank to every new player, and overall I would rate this tank 8 out of 10. It is not broken overpowered, but it can definitely carry many games. On second place is the SU-76 GFT with 51.61% average victory rate and average 793 WN8. Now this tier 4 Chinese tank destroyer is the DPM machine of your dreams. Combining a very good gun on a very light hull, you've got a perfect combination to cause damage. The pros of this tank are firepower, mobility and concealment. This vehicle can easily get up to 2275 DPM and a very nice aiming time of just 1.5 seconds. It also has a very nice penetration values on all of the shells, with 128mm on standard shells, 172mm on premium shells, and very comfortable 43mm on high explosive shells. With 160 alpha damage and 280 alpha damage on HE shells, you can easily shred the enemy tanks. Mobility of this tank is also very nice since it's extremely lightweight, weighing just above 12 tons full equipped, providing this tank with a very nice power to weight ratio of 24.69 horsepower per ton and top speed of 45 km per hour. It can traverse its hull pretty quick too. When it comes to concealment, it really only gets better when you train your crew with concealment. Then you can even get up to 48% stationary camo and 32% camo on the move, which is a huge advantage on lower tiers, since many tanks still have a bad view range. Now the cons of this vehicle: survivability and view range. With great power comes great responsibility. Let's be real, anything can penetrate this tank. And 430 hit points is making it even worse. But it has to be balanced somehow. Now the view range is a pain in the bum. Still better than the Hetzer though, with 320 meters of base view range. So to max it out, you really need to train your crew, use food and equip binocular telescope. Then, if you use the combination of your firepower, concealment and maximum view range, you can unleash hell. So, for best performance, I would recommend equipping improved ventilation, binocular telescope and low noise exhaust system. Or you can also swap the exhaust system for a turbocharger if you want to be more mobile and active. It really holds its place for a good reason. It's a very flexible, turretless tank destroyer. Overall, I would rate this tank a solid 7 out of 10 points. It can carry games, but you need to be good at the game as well. The Lux is claiming the third place with 51.49% average victory rate and average 512 WN8. This tiny light tank is a very good choice if you want to do damage but be quick as well. There really isn't much to say about this vehicle. It's good in every single way, except for armor, which is normal for light tanks. But since it is a light tank, it also has a very high skill cap and 2 competitive guns to choose from. The best choice in my opinion is the 3cm autocannon, with which you can dish out 300 damage in just 1.5 seconds and fall back to reload for 17 seconds. But the 5cm gun is also not a bad choice at all, but it has a very low ammo capacity for carrying games. What equipment I would recommend to use is obviously improved ventilation, low noise exhaust system and coated optics. Or you can swap the exhaust system for a turbocharger. But if you want to spot and don't have a very good crew yet, swap the coated optics for binocular telescope. Overall, I'm giving this tank 9 out of 10 points because it's just a very fun vehicle to play. On the 4th place, we've got the P2640 with 50.53% average victory rate and average 894 WN8. This tier 4 heavy wargaming, again, the P stands for heavy. Well, according to wargaming, it's a medium tank. This vehicle is an absolute beast on its tier. It's got everything except for a view range of just 330 meters. But it is best played at close range because of its lower than average shell velocity. The speciality of this vehicle are its HE shells with 70mm of penetration and 175 alpha damage, with which you can easily get up to 2800 DPM. That's crazy. It is equal to base DPM of most tier 9 or tier 10 tanks on tier 4. And if you want to cheap out on 10mm of penetration for better DPM, you can choose the second gun, with which you'll get just below 3000 DPM. The equipment that I recommend is improved ventilation, binocular telescope and enhanced gun lane drive. Overall, I rate this tank solid 10 out of 10. It is definitely overpowered, but wargaming doesn't care about lower tiers anyway, so have fun. On the last place we have the M8A1 with 50.19% average victory rate and average 591 WN8. Now this tier 4 American tank destroyer really surprised me, seeing many people struggle a lot with this vehicle. The pros of this tank are firepower, concealment, and somewhat good mobility thanks to being on a Stewart chassis. Yet again, this vehicle has two competitive guns to choose from, the fast-firing 57mm gun or the bigger 76mm gun. Now the smaller gun is better in every single way, except for the alpha damage. So if you're an alpha damage kind of person, like me, I recommend you using the bigger 76mm gun. What's important to point out is that the smaller 57mm gun has minus 10 degrees of gun depression, while the bigger gun has just minus 8 degrees of gun depression. So watch out for that. But if you choose the 57mm gun, you have almost 2000 DPM with 110mm of penetration. But if you decide to bribe wargaming, you get 180mm of penetration and faster shell velocity. Now the concealment. If you train your crew with concealment and brothers in arms, you can get up to 50.5% camo while stationary, with 13.4% after firing and 34% on the move. When it comes to mobility, it has a nice power to weight ratio of 23.38 horsepower per ton and top speed of 58 km per hour. But for a tank destroyer, it also has a very pleasing 20 km per hour reverse speed, which is something that most tank destroyers suffer from. Now the cons of this tank are survivability and view range. As it is normal for low tier tank destroyers, you have no armor, low hit points, and 320 meters view range. So if you want to max out your view range, you need to train your crew with brothers in arms, recon, and situational awareness, and use binoculars and food. So for equipment you should choose binocular telescope, low noise exhaust system, and enhanced gun lane drive. I'm giving this tank a fair 6 out of 10. It can be good, it can be fun, but you need to know how to play it. It won't save you like the other tanks. If you have made it to the end of this video, thank you very much for watching, and feel free to share your opinions down in the comments. It would also make the day for me if you just hit that like button, subscribe, and click on that bell button so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Yet again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.